are going to start the stream now. We are going to start the game. S.O.C.A.H.org. You be sure to if you play this game and if you like it, be sure to support the creator. It's a visual novel style video game. Press Alt Enter to enter full screen. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm streaming it 1280 by 720. If I do this full screen thing, it will be reverted to like a 1280 by 1024. By that, I will change the video aspect ratio, and you will not have the fun watching it on your screen. So, disregarding anything I've said so far, let's go ahead and start the game then. I have been playing visual novels for a long time. I started playing visual novels from the Okie Dokie Literature Club back in 2018, and since then I've played probably over 10 of them. And yeah, so this is kind of my go-to genre because my PC can't handle a lot more. I'm trying to save up for a better laptop, but I think that will have to wait for like a month or something. Then I will be streaming Red Dead Redemption 2. Hold on, guys. I was always good at remembering things. Not me. Faces, scents, impressions from early childhood. I could recall them down to the smallest detail. Though it wasn't until I started to take notice of the people around me who seemed barely conscious of their past existence. Having trouble, for example, even recalling a conversation I had with them last week, that I came to regard my invaluable memory as an attribute of the gift. It's just that they don't care, buddy. It's that they don't give a duck about what happened last week when you talked to them about your Raspberry Pi. Because yeah, not everyone remembers everything they do because they do a lot of things. You do just one thing at a time. That makes you remember more because you have done less. And I don't know why I'm preaching right now, but so be it. The game starts with this. Look at that heavenly choir down there. Oh boy. This is a game about incels, isn't it? Wow. Alright. Should I just mute the background music because that would be, hold on. Yep, I have muted the background music because the music in this game is enough. Sure. Even Echo 2 Duo can handle some streaming with OBS. This is wild, to say the least. Hold on, I need the desktop audio to work. Okay, is it working now? Oh, okay, alright, no. Lower it down. Let me check with the stream going on my channel. Is it visible? I mean, audible to my audience? Hold on, guys. Alright, this is fine, isn't it? Alright, this is fine. Man, this Music is. We had a 20-hour layover in Dubai. John answers. His voice tense as though he has been waiting for me to steer the conversation towards his travels. He's fidgeting around on his phone, which has been buzzing at irregular intervals. Why is he noticing all that? Why is he noticing all that? An unplanned layover, he adds. By the way, I'm aware you tried to call me yesterday, but I've been careful answering my phone. What, you think I'm a scammer or something? I'm calling you from overseas and trying to fix your computer by saying, hey, would you mind pressing a few buttons? TEAMVIEWER.com. Shut the heck up. He looks up shifted. I think they've got a tap on inside the country. Tap? Like a phone tap? Yeah. Okay, so he thinks people are spying on them. You're delusional, John. You think the Fed's gonna go after your small ass? They've got better things to do than to chase down rich kids playing drug. Yeah, who knows? He replies dismissively. It's 13:14. Just say it's 1:14, buddy. You don't need to say 24-hour format. It just makes me break down for some reason. And I'm in John's apartment on Atlantic Wharf, a nicotine-stained bachelor pad that he keeps virtually empty, save for a $20,000 white Armani sofa that his dad bought him as a tax write-off. Yo, what? $20,000 sofa, buddy. What? And there's John, who has a pathological habit of conjuring up grand narratives like the army of dark-clad intelligence officers that's apparently hot on his tail right now, as if his mind's desperately yearning to fulfill some kind of deep-seated archetypical need for bullshit. So, Silent was incredible, he rattles on, not knowing himself to be distracted for even a moment. I spent 3 days with Sunny touring Koh Phangan. I'm sorry I didn't pronounce that. Koh Phangan on a moat, staying at 5-star hotels, which are like $10 a night. What? How cheap is that? $10 a night? What? 5-star? $10 a night? You won't find non-Michelin star hotels in my country with the rates of $10 a night. What is this, 1952? We did the full moon party on the beach. Did I tell you about those? He's in a trance now. No room. Imagine dance music blasting over a vast tropical stage as far as the eye can see. They sell huge cups of cocktail for 50 baht, which is literally nothing. So baht is the currency for that place. And then, when they see you're a tourist, they'll offer you whatever you want: coke, speed, crystal meth, and all the good stuff too. You should come with me next year. I'm dead serious. And Sunny's so beautiful. Have you seen her? He's skimming through his phone, his tongue loudly in excitement. In order, in the corner of my eye, I can see dozens of Asian-looking girls flash across the screen. He's checking out Asian girls now, right? Here, that's her. Isn't she gorgeous? Imagine waking up every morning. Oh, he's got shot by the doorbell. Yeah. Following by the burbling voice announcing its arrival through the intercom. Who is coming now? Okay, so the prologue is completed. Now it's time for part 1. Hennets. Let's do this. Illustrious men have often been told by the teachers in the youth that they were always one extreme or another, auto-winker. Yeah, sure. One end or another, huh? What are we doing here now? Again in this apartment. So they are just a drawn expressionless. Yo John, Jake Pence, I messaged you but you left me on red. That reminds me of the one I left on red. The game I left on red a few months ago. I didn't complete that actually. I have yet to complete that game. I streamed it once, but That went horribly, so I need to do it again. I need to restart the stream. Maybe I will do it next month. Who knows? I messaged you, but you left me on red. You back from your trip to Thailand? Thailand. I'm trying to improve my accent. I'm messing up every time. Listen, Jake. Grabbing him by the shoulder. I think the police have been tapping up my phone, so you don't mean to answer anything about controlled substances, okay? What? Tapping your phone? Are you serious? Where'd you get that idea? It's just, it has this weird buzz whenever I'm in a car like this. It produces a thick, guttural sound like a percolator. But what the fuck is percolator? I'm incredibly sorry. This is supposed to be a family friendly. I am incredibly sorry. And then there's something of a slight delay when I'm messaging people. Like, I was messaging Bean during my trip to meet up in Bangkok, and sometimes it would take more than 30 minutes for a message to arrive. It's because they are busy, for heck's sake. Wasn't that just because you were in the middle of Pakistan? What the heck is this Pakistan? Hell no, he replies. You can laugh all you want, but I've heard of guys getting busted that way. You know, I was trailed by a police car a while back. Very slowly, but must have been last June. They followed me all the way to the door, and you know what I did? We gave him a blowjob? No, John replied. I kept on walking like I didn't even live there. He chuckled. It's fine, you know, they ain't got nothing on me, but the thing is, I need to keep it that way. You just need to be morally well. I mean, don't do drugs. A ship's horn resounding in the distance. John's living room has a magnificent view of Auckland Harbour, a sprawling expanse of docks and chimneys that stretch all the way to the ocean. Despite it being an industrial wasteland, the sight always makes me want to move out of my parents' place. Though that will probably still be a while. Me too, bro. I'm moving out next month. So, how's summer school going? Jack inquires, turning to me. It's not summer school, just some classes I failed. Yo, I'm a failure now. You've been failing classes? You look smug. I was wondering how you'd been logging so much time in League of Legends. You think you'll be able to pass me next year? Jake has no grounds to prove me on this, considering how he's about to start his second gap year playing video games in his mom's basement. Yo, they're all the same company. Don't you worry, I got this. You remember Mr. Reynolds, the guy that taught CS first and second and high? You know what he said about my quote at the end of the sophomore year? He said it was an academic level. It was at an academic level. Oh, nothing above and beyond. Just an academic level. It was on par. It was standard, right? Yeah, whatever. Sounds like it was blowing smoke up your ass. At an academic level, I repeated, that is added emphasis. When I was 16, so this summer school shit has got nothing on. So why do you need summer school? You're that good. I thought you said it wasn't summer school. Huh. It isn't summer school. Okay, now I'm just contradicting myself. John's phone buzzes again. Swear, moving over towards the window to thumb around on the screen for a while before declining the call. Anyway, how was your trip? He calls in his direction, calls me ambush glance. You bang some, there you go. Ha! John exclaims, his eyes brighten. That's your fantasy, right, Jake? So he's into food and all this stuff. Bruh. But John's all eager to fill him in. Even though the Kingdom of Thailand has developed a very progressive stance towards the LGBT community, it's a ridiculous stereotype to assume that all women there are transgender. Like, Thailand is kind of the safe haven for all the transgender people. when the world isn't accepting them, they go silent. They feel accepted. That is the main reason there was a stereotype surrounding that. But nowadays it is acceptable everywhere, almost. Unless America, because America, what do I even say about America? I don't care. In fact, the contrary is true. I can assure you that the vast majority of Thai girls are naturally born females. Guess what? You pay by weight! So you realize beforehand if you make a mistake. Is it? Yeah, sure. So haven't you, tried it once? No. However, I don't know about you guys. A devilish smile appears on his face, but I have to say, when a push comes to shove, I'd rather spend the night with a pretty guy than an ugly girl. Jake laughs out loud. My stomach turns. I'm somehow reminded of an assignment I have to hand in before the faculty building closes. Well, what was I gonna say? Faculty? What? Faculty building closes, and I'm not sure if that's at 4 or 5. You're pathetic, Jake sneers at Sean. Paying money for chicks with dicks. What? Don't pay money for that, you can get them free, right? I mean, they're humans too, they got emotions, they got needs of their own, they got economic demands. What? John blurts out. I mean, you practically admitted it. That's horseshit. And you know it. You know I don't pay them for those. They give it to me for free. Not really for free though, if you provide them with drugs and hotel rooms. Jake sweats back at him. How many other white losers do you think Little Beam and Happy have down there? They're capitalizing, bitch. That's a very rich coming from you. How many girls do you have mourning your name? So this is gonna be a very unfamily friendly video, guys. I'm not gonna say family friendly because this is a game about incels, people who don't get women and they hate them. Because of that. So far we've got no people watching. So it's fine. That's very rich coming from you. How many girls do you have mourning your name? So this is John, this is Jake, right? Thailand, got some girl stuff, and this guy is now silent because he has no girls whatsoever in it. Nobody counts at all. You know what we should do? We should prank that fat man just for shits and giggles. Oh yeah, don't remarks and more friendly comes back, come back. So, any of you been to Osmond's lately? So, you remember the underage looking bartender that works there, he continues. Emily, the Lolita one. You know how she's got no idea about appropriate drink sizes, right? I always get a Johnny Walker Blue Label there, which is like $30 per glass, but she fills the tumbler all the way to the brim as though it were a soda. Well, that is a very, very efficient way of getting a lot more than you should. He makes a face that is the darndest thing ever. So the bottle they have is 2/3 empty, and that's all because of me. $30 per glass. Wow. That's a lot. Alright. time for sharing part of the video. Alright, this is done. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I always get different stuff. Alright. Still means you spent 200 on scotch over the months. So it's cost. Great. See, great. Spent $200 on scotch. Wow. And you know that's blue label. Don't continue ignoring it. Like they start off with red, which is the cheapest, then black, then green. He goes on for a bit. So, is that your parents' money? I asked. Or yours? Then gold, then comes blue, the highest tier, all drug money, baby. My parents pay for the apartment and my insurance, and that's about it. Beyond that, I get to buy on my own. What else do you gotta pay for? As long as I'm not in a situation where, yo, what do you even pay for? Just the drinks? Truly the stuff paying. But I'm living a life, you know. Recently I've been getting those tenderloin steaks from Target. They're like more than 25 bucks a pound, but it's absolutely top rate meat. I'm gonna make you guys steak. How do you even say steak? Is it steak or steak? I'm gonna say steak. Steak sometime. Maybe tonight we could start steak. You know how to cook steak, huh? No. It's easy. You just heat some butter in a frying pan and then throw it in for a minute on both sides. 1 minute per side is enough. You know that way it stays right on the inside. 1 minute? You've got parasites, man. What? How do you even make steak in 1 minute? No, you don't get a Sam. 1 minute is fine. It's serious shut. That's all you do. It's high grade beef. That's tenderloin. No parasites at all. Very expensive. Yeah, I'm gonna have the pasta equal dinner tonight. I say. I have this assignment I need to hand in before the faculty building closes. You leaving so soon? I thought we were going to prank call Matthew. A quick one then. I can see it as I take out my phone and dial his number. Okay, we're now dialing Matthew's number. It's ringing as the three of us huddle around, casting each other meaningful glances, giggling like excited school kids. Someone picks up. Hey, who's this? Outside, tinny voices resounds from the speaker. Matthew, we sound intuition, placing heavy emphasis on the last syllable. Matthew, alright? Matthew. What? You losers again? There's a lot of noise on the other end of the line. Matthew, what's up? I call out. Listen, I'm kinda busy at the moment. Can you call me another time? Or maybe never? Come on, Matthew, Jack shouts in a whining voice. You need to tell us about your sweet life. Yeah, I'm doing alright here in law school, Matthew replies. I'm in a frat now, so I'm a little too busy to be talking to you losers. Shut the fuck up, fat. Go to jerk off to hentai, I can hear him mumble before terminating the call. We burst out laughing and high-fiving each other, then I grab my bag and head for the door. This is so awkward. This is so awkward, so bad. What is this story? But it's good at the same time. Like, yeah, it's so bad it's good. Now it's time for the library. Wow, this looks. What? I thought this was sliding down, but then I realized it was the glass which was going up. The faculty's building deserted during summer. As most students are off for the holidays, after placing my assignment in Professor Anderson's postdoc, I head towards the spacious student lounge with the intent of doing some reading. Suddenly, I detect a familiar voice beside me. Hey Samuel, what are you doing here? So this is the girl which made the OP and Incel. So here the story barely starts. And when I look down, it's as though the synapses in my brain take a few seconds to register the brown-haired girl standing in front of me. Then I realize it's Vivian, who I haven't seen since high school, even though we talk online from time to time. I know she's taking CS 1 year ahead of me. What? She's already ahead of you when you studied high school together? Hi Vivian, I reply. Nothing much, just handing in an assignment. So they got you too, eh? Summer classes are killing me. Guess they keep you busy. I have to retake Artificial Intelligence 3 or they won't let me into fourth year. At least it's nice to hear we're in the dummy club together. That's us, I smile, though I can feel myself tensing up a little. I don't really think that means I'm dumb though, more like a scheduling thing. Sure, yes, that's a great way to put it. You can't really combine 8-hour rates with a college curriculum. Alright, this is totally League of Legends, so mom basement thing, alright? When we were in high school, Vivian, Jake and I would play World of Warcraft together for hours on end. Though it provided me a much needed escape from the school life, I ended up developing a rather unhealthy relationship with the game and I quit shortly before graduating. So, you still playing World of Warcraft? I asked. Yeah, she replies instantly. The guild's still going strong. You should rejoin our server sometime. You know, I reply after a pause. I've actually been considering that. I smile. I guess I want to lock myself away in an immersive virtual world. I add in an attempt to sound edgy, though I truly feel the nostalgic sensation creeping over me again. The immense surge of wonder that I felt as a young teenager riding through the streets of the Stormwind for the first time. The triumphant music resounding through the alleyways in the gargantuan Gothic facades of the Cathedral of the Light of the looming in the distance. Even though it feels alluring, I know I shouldn't resist the urge, and I'm still aware of the nefarious power that World of Warcraft had over me for those days, eating away years of my school and work and social life. No place like Azeroth, she replies. Anyway, I hope you get into next year. Third year's a lot more fun, you know, with machine learning algorithms and all that. Yeah, probably. Oh great, I mumble, while still trying to wrap my head around the figure that's standing right in front of me. In high school, Vivian used to be so tomboyish that her femininity never really registered. Now she's low, old, girlish and shit like that. Okay. When we had sleepovers at Jake's place, drinking soda and wading deep into the night, Vivian is always just one of us. In her short hair and washed out t-shirt, so masculine in her manners. Well, I need to get home soon, I hear her call out. Say hi to Jake for me. I will, I reply. I quickly add, we could see each other when the final grades are posted. Though I actually mean when we might see each other when the final grades are posted. Yeah, great idea, she exclaims, waving at me as she exits the hall. It's not much later that I find myself traversing Claremont Avenue in search for an office supply store that I'm sure I should be somewhere around here. The streets are mostly empty at this hour and the general place suits my restless mind, which has been droning with John's excited voice ever since I left his apartment. Suddenly, a loud chatter erupts to my right as a heavy wooden door opens. A group of 8 or 9 people spills out onto the street. They're all in their late teens and 20s, some clutching books under their arms. The building hosts a small Episcopalian. Did I pronounce that right? Episcopalian chapel, and the congregation which is now scattering out around me, which must have been attending some kind of Bible study group. As I head further, leaving the noisy chapel behind, I notice that one of the Episcopalians is walking in the same direction as I. He's slowly trudging forward just a few yards ahead, so that it doesn't take long for me to overtake him. In passing, as I take my time to absorb all of her physical features, it strikes me that something about her is disquietingly out of proportion. I can't exactly put my finger on it, whether it's her coarse physique or her asymmetrical cheeks. But I decide for myself, fully aware of the ruthlessness of this verdict, that I find her wholly unattractive, the most repulsive woman I have ever seen. She is the convergence of all the things undesirable in a human female, the anti-Venus made flesh. What? Someone like her would be drawn to the church, a place that has served as a safe haven for homely girls since time immemorial. Their incomprehensible ugliness must entail such woeful disconnect with society that nothing but unequivocal dedication to the Savior Christ can dull the pain. It's a consoling thought that no matter how unattractive you are, you can always just fall back to Jesus, that long-haired, tanned boyfriend that doesn't judge and doesn't cheat. The one in all pious girls' first. I chide myself for thinking these thoughts. Then I imagined that if I joined the church for a while and kept up the facade, even if I could find myself a homely Christian girlfriend. A lazy feeling is mounting from my loins. I look around only to see that she is disappeared from myself. My pronunciation is so bad. When I finally reach the office supply store, I pick out a thick lined notebook which I plan on using for my next. And while standing in line for checkout, I grab 2 limited edition cans of Mountain Dew Game Fuel from the refrigerator, chuckling at myself as I pass them into the clerk. Pass them to the clerk, not into the clerk. Clerk, for God's sake. We're home now. It's late, and I'm in my room again. Matthew is pestering me over Discord, probably because the phone call this afternoon. But I ignore him as I don't want him thinking we're buddies. What? We're not buddies? On this note, I'd like to say, please join my Discord server. That we're gonna have fun there because there's not many people there right now, and we can maybe make it populated once again. I've agreed to play some League with Jake and the boys at 12:30, which is in about an hour. I kill the time sipping Mountain Dew and playing subterranean animism, though I give up hope on the game after a few miserable stages. Should I stream on Twitch and quit streaming on YouTube? I think I might do that actually. I will just, when I get a laptop, I'm gonna stream other games, probably Rocket League and Valorant and stuff like that, and I'll maybe do it on Twitch rather than YouTube. But it's warmer outside than in. Then I hear the sound of the front door opening, followed by after a while, by my father's footsteps, coming up the stairs. As he arrives on the landing outside my room, he lets out a single loud cough that sends shivers down my spine, before heading towards the bathroom and getting ready for bed. I've always hated my father's distinctive cough, that deep, aggressive rumble that he lets out whenever he's around. Why? From a young age, I've grown to suspect his cough never fulfilled any bodily function, but that it was something much more primal, like the type of signal for establishing authority. That is good, your parents should establish authority around you. A few minutes later, I hear the light in the bathroom go out. He's gone to bed. I decide to take a look at Matthew's messages. Hey Sam, loser. Why do losers keep calling my phone? Begrudgingly, I type a reply. We admire you, Matthew. Well, I admit it, I'm doing pretty alright. So, are you doing anything with your life those days, or just jerking off? I'm just jerking off. Guess they didn't let you into the military academy like you wanted. Too bad, man. Could have jerked off all day in Afghanistan. Fuck you, I never even signed up. I'm doing CS now in OCC, and I'll probably end up making more than you, but without all the student debt. OCC? That shithole? Well, I guess it's still better than being a boot. Shut up, fag. Nothing wrong with your armed forces. It may even end up enlisting. I may even end up enlisting after I get my CS degree. Plenty wrong with our armed forces, Sammy. Plenty wrong. I'm distracted. Is this an image board 4chan? B has a thread asking for advice. What is B actually? I have no idea what that board is. Has a thread asking for advice on painlessly committing suicide. As I skim through the posters rambling about failing school and being pressured into getting circumcised at the age of 13 by a narcissistic aunt. Why? Why circumcision? That sounds so wrong on all fronts. The replies are unnaturally comforting, with several people leaving words of encouragement in another post going into the details of monoxide poisoning. Why? I feel strange yet at my core, and I think to myself that circumcision is a weirdly barbaric tradition, even though we all go through it. What? Even though we all go through it? You serious about that? It's not much later that I'm reading up on the old practice. What? In which the mohel places his mouth directly on the circumcision wound to draw blood away from the back. But just as I'm thinking about it, the poster reply about blood-sucking grabbers, I noticed that the original suicide was 404 without providing any closure on the face of the eye. I closed it. Matthew, still listening? Listen. It would become definitely more important to start writing down. A lot of great men wrote memoirs. Think of Churchill, or if you flip around, Goebbels. You know why Joseph Goebbels, propaganda minister of the Third Reich, you know why he's so well known today? Not because he had great power, he really did it. It was all because he held a diary. He wrote 2 pages every single day. And ever since the end of the war, historians have been poring over those texts as though they're the holy grail of history. That's how these things work. You write it down and it becomes important, not the other way around. Oh yeah, right. This is something exciting to learn. And I know some may call me a Nazi for even knowing this stuff, but that horse shit. I'm just of the opinion that Goebbels was a very smart man, like insanely smart, with the way he revolutionized propaganda. That doesn't mean I like him or that he wasn't a villain in the end. But you should be allowed to point out that someone's smart even if he wasn't otherwise original. He had great memory too. So he's not comparing himself. Noticing it's 037 already, I quickly start up the client. Jake, known as Solon in game, and the rest of our team have been impatiently waiting for me to show up, and I can really hear them shouting abuse through the mumble VoIP as I finally come online. I don't really mind. As I'm traversing Summoner's Rift again, the fog of war shrouding the battlefield, extending itself into my head and blurring out their voices. I can't play League of Legends, I just can't play MOBA games anyway. Though, I know I should be the sound. Oh no. I don't really feel like being a team player tonight, not with team disparaging me like that. So I cast Shadow Soul on the opposing guy the moment I reached level 5. Drawing us into an early team fight, which we managed to lose spectacularly even despite solid corrections from Solon and our support player Void. It's fucking hot in my room and the Mountain Dew is left with a sore aftertaste in my mouth. It's not far into mid-game before my lane opponent catches on to my testy state and starts pestering me relentlessly with my mortal steel, sending me back to the fountain 3-4 times in a row, and I'm ramming my keyboard with frustration while my team's shouting in my earpiece how I need to get on schedule and quit ruining the game for everyone. Quit ruining the game. What is ruining? Ruining. How do you even pronounce ruining? What? Ruining. Right. In an attempt to rid myself of the awful taste, I hawk a giant luigi into the water with waste paper. Basket beside my bed, My blood's boiling. I'm storming down mid lane, fully intending to put an end to this travesty once and for all. But in the meantime, we're losing ground rapidly on all 3 lanes, and I'm even starting to manage on. Starting to feel a little remorseful for being so brazen early on. I managed to win a decisive skirmish together with Void, which slightly tempers the scorn of my teammates, but by the time we reach the late game, we're so dramatically behind that even a rogue Baron capture by myself can't delay our immediate demise. 5 minutes later, the match is over. I asked the guys if they want to play another round, but they tell me they've had it with my ridiculous inting, and we decided to call it a night. I exit the client before leaving my mumble, and I sit there for a moment listening to the barrage of abuse that's being thrown my way. As I log off, I notice some more unread messages from Matthew. You still there, Sam? Yo, Sam. Again? Loser. I decide to vent off some of my frustration on him. Shut up! Go be with your frat buddies. Nah, the semester hasn't even started. You know, the army preys on insecure guys like me. Dopey types without a sense of direction. They provide structure and father figures to look up. If they want insecure guys, then maybe you should join. But in the end, you end up giving your life to the stormtrooper for corporate America. I'm sure the shareholders in the army's industry will thank you for your service. I don't understand how you get through life with such a defeatist attitude. That is how you get through life. Like them or not, what these shoulders are doing is noble. Really noble, drones striking unarmed protagonists. I'm tired and I've had it with Matthew's baiting, so I suppress the urge to go into the long-winded argument with him and close off Ｄiscọrd. Matthew isn't a bad guy per se, but it's just important to realize it with his kind that they just don't know what it's really like to be out there in the real world. They often live in a very sheltered lives. And I say that fully realizing people may say that I live in a very sheltered life myself, but here I am with stomach drawing to close, just spending my nights arguing guys like Matthew on the internet doing what's supposed to be the prime of my life. And I can't even get myself a chubby Christian girlfriend. I can smell a hint of damp moss in the air. Okay, no girlfriend, alright. Explosions resounding in the distance. I'm being chased by a bearded old man with softly matching teeth, and no matter how much I bludgeon him with my staff or cast abilities on him, he just keeps getting up, looking at me with those piercing eyes, with his serrated fangs ragged like shards of porcelain and glistening with bright red saliva. What the heck was that? I don't want to kill him, but I honestly don't, but he's making it very difficult. He started playing games at midnight. We're gonna start a new day. Is this part 2? Yeah, part 2. Alright, we're gonna finish part 2 this time. Before part 3 starts, we're gonna stop the stream. The abstract made is the image of God, the absolute something. Again. Oh, okay. So, one night I'm in the hotel room with Sunny and this other girl. And get this, we're high on bath salts. So I have these 2 gorgeous Thai chicks on the bed in front of me. And they're so hot, so amazing, with the soft black hair and so long and beautiful. Now he's listening to Jake. So you know, there's only one thing a man can do in such a situation. John pauses, looking at my huge, playful eyes. I take off my pants and start helicoptering. What? Helicoptering? Serious? Over there, I'm a fucking beast, man. He yells, honking the car horn loudly. I live 2 lives. I swear you need to come with me next summer. Hi, Chuck. We're on our way to the Parkway projects and to do business with some kids John's found on Craigslist drug deal. There's a bottle of Jane B in the glove compartment that I've been helping myself to, and it's putting me in a handicap. You see that guy right over there? John comments as he gestures toward a family of 4 that are walking along the side of the road. The father is wearing a grey flannel shirt and pushing side of the street. You see him with the grey shirt? Do you see the wife of it? That guy's life is so fucking over, man. How? Because he's got kids? I got kids. Imagine you slaving away all your work all week just to bring back the bucks to a fat, lazy wife. I bet she isn't even nice to him. Maybe that's just his mating strategy. I mean, he does have 2 kids with her. Yeah, whatever. Enveloping them in thick blue smoke, you each promise me you don't marry the first bro that you can stick in. You promise me that? Please don't end up like that empty shell of a human back there. Sure, whatever. Mumble as my hand goes for the glove. And give me some of that too. You sure? Yeah, who cares? Just warn me if you see any cops. Tom takes his large swig from the bottle and hands it back. That's some serious stuff, Shan. Ain't no blue label, but serious stuff nonetheless. So you've sold it to these guys before? I asked. Nah, he replies, but it's cool, I need to grow my market. And he's sure they ain't us. I asked him, though in the corner of my mind I can see him click. You think they've hacked into my mail? He asked, unable to conceal the nervous undertone into his voice. I don't know, man, if they're in your phone. Oh, shut the fuck up, Sam, I was having a good day. We stop in front of the Dick Rape apartment complex. John gets out to retrieve something from the trunk of the car. Call the cops if something unwarranted happens. He yells at me before walking up to the door. He's going up for a drug deal. Calling cops if anything unwarranted happens? The cops will be the first to know. I call back with a smile. He rings the doorbell, and after waiting for what feels like 20 minutes, a couple of black kids, skinny, no older than 15, let him in. They seem fine, timid even, exactly the type you'd expect to buy drugs off Craigslist. I remain in the car, one window cranked fully down, breathing in the warm outside air that has a notable hint of big night air. Barclay lies on the northern bank of the Oakland River. It's still a distinctly working-class neighborhood, even though the gentrification is starting to gain foothold, rapidly inflating the property values of its decrepit brownstone houses and wharfs. All's quiet. It's starting to sink in that I'm currently serving as an unpaid lookout in what could theoretically be a major drugs hustle. But just as I'm about to decide my question to come here, the front door opens again. 10 minutes later, we're doing a 90 soundbound on the interstate, and we're giggling like hyenas sitting whiskey and feeling elated. We're making money, I call out of the bottom of my lungs. I'm making money. Good gangster, yes. Showing a no-strip gang sign at the car next to us. Here, let me put on a tune, I say, as I pair my phone to the John's Bluetooth surround sound and start blasting right at the last file series by Richard Wagner, a piece that's always been near to my heart. Listen to this. What the fuck? Wait, this is Beethoven 9s, right? Pretty epic, if I dare say so. What? Sure, John. Like what? Really intense guy, that Beethoven. John continues, his voice growing more excited as the music swells. Do you remember that scene in A Clockwork Orange? He asked, where they have that hoodlum dude hooked up to the monitor with his eyes wide open, and that score us all Beethoven. And did you know that he was actually born deaf?
Soldiers in Nam. Okay, we're gonna stay with this. Soldiers in Nam would play this music during airstrikes. I interrupted. Imagine massacring Glocks to this. With sounds of gunfire all around you, the scent of napalm in your nostrils. They didn't have it easy back in those days. Unlike the drone operators found in cushy offices, they had to get face to face with the VC, had to dehumanize the enemy. They're nice. Say, these kids were nice by the way. He turns on the music a little. Their mom was there too, offered me a tea and all. Must be a pretty liberal mom if she allows her kids below 15 to have drugs. Yeah, I didn't look like they had too much money though. So we have one more place to visit. He resumes, looking at his watch. Down in Windsor Hill. Windsor Hill. You mean we're not done yet? I asked, disgruntled by his unilateral change of plans. Just one more address, he whispers soothingly. This one's special, a regular. Can't you just drop me off at your place and do this by yourself? I'm not your getaway driver, you know. No sweat. Sam, it's on the way home. Don't be so uptight. Have some more whiskey. I decline hesitantly, thinking about how John's had his mouth all over the bottle. Suddenly, he leans over, bringing his face up close to mine. I can detect a twinkle in his eye. Listen, Sam, it's like this. Keep your eyes on the road. It's a girl. Wow. We coast into the spacious suburb of Windsor Hill, which borders the Windsor Wildlife Conservatory. She doesn't want anyone seeing us turn in our driveway. John explains as he parks in a nondescript parking lot and takes out his phone. Let me just call to tell her I'm on my way. A teenage girl's voice answers the phone, but John hangs up before she can say anything. Don't want her running her mouth, he says before exiting the car and setting off towards one of the mansions on the opposite side of the road. It takes him about 15 minutes to get back. You should come in, he whispers excitedly, holding open the passenger door. I think I can set you up if you want some. Nah, I reply. Come on, man, she's so hot. You want to see a picture of her? I'm good, let's get out of here. I throw up my hands for emphasis, though I can't dismiss the noxious mixture of fear and curiosity that's taking hold of me. Sam, are you serious? John is twisting his face into a pained grimace as if it's an immense agony at me turning down his offer. I mean, it's just a one-time thing. Listen, John, I answer languidly. I appreciate you doing this for me, but I honestly do. But it's just not the way I roll. I can see the disappointment in his eyes. And I've had too much whiskey, I add. Wow, he missed an opportunity. Yeah. Throughout the drive back, John's pestering me about declining this girl. You really should come out of your tower. You can't sit around moping all you want. You can sit around moping all you want, but you're never gonna get any if you don't go out and get it. Look, John, there's nothing special about girls, you know. They look high and mighty when they're at school with makeup on and the clickies around them, but you should have been back there in a room begging for a fix. Once you have them eating out your hand and you find out the vast majority of girls are just losers. I mean, like how most girls are losers with acne and beer bellies, girls are the same, even the rich, stuck-up ones. He's got a very twisted sense of humanity. We're all losers, he continues, but girls are losers with pussy and tits, which somehow makes them celestial beings to some guys. But it's just a tiny biological difference. Keep that in mind, Sammy. I get that, I just don't feel like I should have to resort to coercing them. Coercing. That's such a strong word. Coercing, right? Coercing. What is that? What does that mean? I think it is working, right? The internet is working. What? Alright, whatever. That's such a strong word. Look, I know you and Jake look down on me because you think I only get laid by paying for it. Like that somehow makes it less of an achievement. But even if it were true, in the end, you know who's getting laid more. Let me think about that. That's right, you think you're going to care about that shit once you're lying on your deathbed? You waste the rest of the afternoon at John's place playing Call of Duty. After 2 hours, John's too drunk to hit on a bar door, and I just suggest to him we call it a game. He stumbles into the kitchen to see if anyone and there's any more liquor left, but he comes back empty-handed. I need to change the preferences. I need this music. No, music is fine. Sound is less. If you have a nice hand at Modern Warfare 3, he compliments me, like in his speech. The way you frack those scrubs, he makes a wild arm gesture, like throwing a grenade, knocking over a bowl of beer nuts in passing. He's acting ridiculous, surrendering completely to the half-feigned toddler act he performs whenever he starts drinking. Whatever, I reply, you should get some real games. Real games? He burst out in praise. Games with depth then, not just G.I. Joe bullshit. Oh, G.I. Joe, I remember the Oscar thing. G.I. Joe, he repeats in a high-pitched voice. G.I. Joe! Alright, I did a bad high-pitched impersonation. Look who's talking. You had that recruiter guy fellishing you so hard that year. And you'll need him after you fail summer school. He burst out in choking laughter. If I fail summer school, I pause. And I won't. Yeah, enough of that. I wouldn't mind joining the army though, I state dismissively. Maybe do some years on base at Okinawa and find myself a cute Japanese girlfriend. Kawaii. Yeah, right. Did your recruiter paint you that picture? No. Don't believe that fantasy crap, Mr. Pinkerton. I think you'd make a fine soldier with your eagle eye, aim, and your submissive nature, but the army is just a hellhole for the dumbest of the dumbest. He's starting to sound like an athlete, I mutter, as I walk over to the window. Because he's right. Matt is right, he's right. Jones being a clown again, but I can feel the alcohol pushing me to the point where I unironically start enjoying his antics. And at that moment, inspired by the liquor on the glow of the Modern Warfare 3 victory, I for some reason resolved to elevate this conversation beyond the default crossfire of banter and start talking to something that'll be memorable to me in the grand scheme of things, or at least until after the summer ends. I turn to John. So, do you ever get those video game streams after playing Call of Duty? I start asking, smiling pedantically. He ignores me. I usually have them like once or twice a week, I press on. But it's the worst when I've been playing the first person stuff. It's this thing when you just keep on playing in your sleep, like your brain is somehow wired to the experience of the game. I never really remember my dreams, John answers. But hey, that's pretty cool. Are they like nightmares? Not really, I reply. Just plain old gaming. Like I've been playing an FPS during the daytime, I'll just be running through an abandoned factory shooting enemies in my sleep. It's like my mind ends up being so immersed that it's tricked into thinking that my game's in real life, that it passes on to the dream state. That is bad. John's looking at me with a macabre expression. The expression isn't changing anything. So you're going around murdering people in your sleep, he giggles. Every night? That's some intense shit, Sam. Like some Eric Harris psychotype shit. He's snorting now, his face turning red. Don't do that now, I snap. He mutters, still smiling. Don't you compare me to Eric Harris, I say with feeling indignation. Eric Harris was a plain-laced edgelord. I concur, no similarity at all. Now Dylan Cable Klebold. I continue, a thin smile appearing on my lips as I realize I'm currently on the right track. He, on the other hand, was an interesting character. John shrugs before stating in a pedantic tone. You know what I think? I shake my head. I think reducing the age of enlistment would be a great way to stop school shootings in the US. Maybe. An awkward silence. How so? It's easy. As soon as the school owner starts acting up, you know what I mean. Donning all the black trench coat, buying Marilyn Manson CDs, the whole package. What do you want to do? You just put him through the boot camp and ship him to Iraq to hunt insurgents. By the time he's back, he'll have seen enough bloodshed to set him straight for the rest of his life. And if he ends up perishing in the desert, it's just collateral damage. You know what I mean? I chuckle as I play out the scenario in my head. And let me tell you one thing that Matthew guy's probably right about. He continues. In the end, there's just one difference between a school shooter and a US private. You know what that is? Enlighten me. School shooters kill white kids, private kill brown kids. Privates kill brown kids. That's all there is reality to it. That's all the reality there is to it. You're a very clever guy, John. Clever guy. And I mean, I'm not even against killing browns. Wiping tears from his eyes. I think our troops do an excellent job at that. It's just that you need to realize that that's what you'll end up doing down there. You won't see any stuck-up Western types killing ISIS in the desert. They pay taxes, so a platoon of weaponized autists can do it for them. And it kills two birds with one stone, you see. Less white trash in the US and less brown trash in the Middle East. I can see how fucking pleased he is at making up this little allegory, which I'll probably have to sit through at every given occasion over the next few years. And you know what the best part is about being in the army? He adds, gasping for breath. When you come back from your tour, they reward you with medals and free education. You get priority parking for the rest of your life just because you decided to shoot up a school of brown kids instead of white ones. Yeah, right. You know, I reply, you can't just kill people randomly in the army anymore. Sadly, it's more about the peacekeeping and community building these days. Yeah, boo-hoo, you believe that shit? That's your recruiter talking again. What's a dirty game? Then he jumps up as though he just remembers something now. But now we're on the subject. Let me show you what I got recently. He crouches down to feel underneath the sofa, pulling out a white wooden box. You know what this is? He asks. Without waiting for an answer, he lifts open the top, revealing a pitch black Beretta M9 semi-automatic pistol. I admire it for a moment. Wow, John, how long have you had that for? Furiously, just like 2 months, my dad got it back from a debt calling agency he's working with and gave it to me for security reasons. Do you have a license for this? I fumbled my word. I mean, can I hold it? Go ahead, it's not loaded. I pick up the gun, examining it from close by, and proceed to do some stupid poses, pointing into Kurt's forehead, sticking it in my mouth like I'm Kurt Cobain. Great muzzle discipline you got there, Sam. Now don't go telling everyone I have this. They don't acknowledge your Second Amendment rights out here. But what do you need a gun for? In the line of work I come in contact with all sorts. Let me tell you some more about the clever old fellow. I murmured, smiling wistfully as I slowly bring down the gun towards my temple. He wasn't like Eric Harris at all. John stood staring at me, a nervous glimmer in his eyes. The essence of Dylan's world view ran very deep. Now Eric, by comparison, he just wanted to kill people and blow their heads off and watch them die. Just like you're run-of-the-mill psychopath. John's watching me in silence. Dylan, however, was different. I hand back the gun to John, who scuttles to return it to the box. His outlook on life was very unique. I continue. He perceived himself to be so fundamentally different from the others around him that they became a completely separate life form to him. Yeah, whatever, no surprise, he was a delusional freak. Oh, this was way more than simple illusions of grandeur, I replied. You know, he truly regarded others as categorically inferior, like zombies in a game of Doom, and himself as the embodiment of a living god. I was almost about to say something, but I cut him off. But that's where the sad bit comes. I cleared my throat. Though Dylan saw himself as a living god, he realized that he was a god trapped inside a mortal body. His life on Earth was just an insignificant, transient stage within the entirety of his existence. And he was desperately looking for a way out, to return to his true reality, which was like a long hall with thousands of doors, which each led to a different dimension. Life on Earth was just one of these doors, a single fragment within the entirety of the universe, entirety of existence, and a miserable one at that. I paused to add dramatic effect. Wow, what? So, what he thought, what he truly felt was, well, that he was a god trapped behind an inferior door, or a god in his zombie body. And to release himself, to regain his god-like perceptions of the halicons of the mind, as he put it, all he needed to do was to free himself from his mortal shell and take as many zombies as possible with him. I feel a rush of adrenaline as I recount this information that I have stored somewhere deep inside. You understand that, John? Dylan wasn't a violent person at all. He was just extremely saddened by the realization that he couldn't live up to his full potential, to the point that mass murder felt like actual liberation to him. Do you understand the concept of feeling so fundamentally different from everyone around you that you don't even consider them human anymore? I don't consider you human, Samuel. And this wasn't just a fantasy. This guy really experienced those things. They were as real to him as this room is to you and me. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't have gone through what he did. He's just explaining the game's character. So how the fuck do you know all this? I don't know, I've just got good memory. I'm silent for a second before adding apprehensively. I wrote an essay on him in high school. You did what? I hope you realize this means you're gonna have an FBI file on you. Meh, Mr. Cummings told me to go see a school shrink before letting me cover it. But the psychiatrist woman just asked me some questions and said I was good to go. Haha, did he give you some ink blots to look at? No, just some standard questionnaire, like if I was thinking of hurting myself or others. I think she was quite bad at her job. Must have been if she saw no red flags with you. Mr. Cummings said the essay was well written, A+, very well sourced. That was probably the most fun I have ever had in high school. He probably gave you a good grade in hopes of being spared in the oncoming carnage. Okay, look at that grin on his face. You know what, he adds, your whole theory aside, I suspect the Columbine shooters were just a couple of closeted fags who got bored sucking each other's tiny white dicks and proceeded to extract the divine retribution of all the Chads and Stacys that have been rightfully bullying them all these years. I say to chuckle. You agree to see a school psychiatrist, John repeats, shaking his head. You have so got an FBI file on you. Shut up, I grunt, wary of his drunk badgering. I'm not the one being wiretapped. Oh my god, did I tell you? That faggot Caleb called me the other day and I completely forgotten the no drug talk rule. We were discussing business for 10 minutes straight before I remembered. Yeah, that's bad. They must have so much audio by now. Tell Baba I say hi. Alright, I think this ends the part 2. This is gonna be the part... No, not really, not yet. The effects of the alcohol are gradually wearing off, being replaced by an overall sluggishness that causes me to reach a couple of bad endings in subterranean animism again. It's the only game in the two-holder series that I haven't completed in hard mode, though I believe that it may be due to a hidden desire to keep it that way. I sit there for a while, basking in the post-game glow as my mind gradually dissolves to the distant land of Gensokyo, where I find myself resting on the grassy slope of the great eastern mountain on a mild autumn day, listening to the rustling trees in the forest below, and below I can discern the silhouette of a green-haired maiden sweeping the steps, leading a loud noise downstairs, probably my mother. Yo, what the fuck? I think of the girl we visited this morning in Windsor Heights, and I feel a tingling regret for not taking John up on his offer. It's not like I have these romantic ideas about holding out for the right person, it's just that I don't really care about that much. When it's offered to me so bluntly, I mean I do care, it's just that I feel like you get back what you put into it. Like if you just have sex with anyone, if it's nothing, the way John does, then it truly becomes nothing just because that's what you put in. Love holds a liberating potential, it's similar to death in some sense. In how it can snap you out of your current state of lifelessness. I wonder if Dylan would have given up on his massacre if there was a girl who liked him, if a girl could have resurrected him and returned him to his existence as a god. He mentions a girl he liked in his journals, though. Her name's been censored out by the police. I imagine how I took a look right now, browsing through spree killer's writings in an incognito browser tab like a psycho, but during that period he was in love. While he was in love, his writings were so infatuated and poetic, like all the violence had completely disappeared. Could love be a viable substitute for dying? Like Schopenhauer wrote, Arthur Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer or Schopenhauer? Schopenhauer. I don't know how you pronounce Arthur Schopenhauer. Romantic love is the only force that can really overcome death. It allows humanity to procreate, to create new life. Love is the manifestation of the will to live. He who is in love feels immortal, and conversely, suffering, a broken heart can give more painful than death itself, as it constitutes giving up on eternity. Those who are without love are dead in this world. Genetic dead ends. I could be dead. But I doubt Dylan ever read a word of Schopenhauer. I figure he didn't, considering he was a 16-year-old kid living in a fucking Denver of all places. But that doesn't matter, as when you're highly intelligent, it will sometimes occur to you that independently that makes certain discoveries that have previously been discovered ages ago by other great minds. Like the time I thought of something that was strikingly similar to the general theory of relativity, even though I had never heard about Einstein at the time. Just because a thought has already been thought doesn't mean it's in any way less valid. It just means you're born to date. B is shit tonight, and I scroll past kick and furry threads until I settle on posts calling for the pics of Alabama cum dumpster, where my attention caught by an exceptionally young-looking white female, 17 perhaps, freckles, straw blonde hair, bent over on a tartan plate with her legs spread out, walls covering with exposed brick and wood paneling. Even though I have full view of everything, it's the look in her eyes that part startled, part conceited, gaze of feral bestial thirsty in immediacy that draws me right in. I'm in the bathroom cleaning myself up. I hear my mother coming down from my bedroom in a feeling of doorknob of those see me by the light that is occupied. She whispers that I should go to bed before quietly shuffling up the stairs again. I stand frozen until it's completely quiet before returning to my room. Tomorrow I'll get back my grades for summer school. I don't really care if I fail though. I'd rather tell Vivian that I passed. When you fail something, it's always worse for the other people. They all feel so sorry for you, even when you don't care. What? A dream. Miles and miles of never-ending grass like a weed. A farm, sunshine, a happy feeling in the presence. Absolutely nothing wrong. Nothing ever is. Contrary to normal life. No awareness, just pure, unexplainable bliss. I must have dozed off for a while. I'm still in my chair. It's 3 a.m. If I turn in now, I'll be in bed relatively early for my standards. I may even get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow I'll find out if I'm still a college student. That's gonna be it, essentially, pass or fail. The great bullion of my life. And the little shrine maidens are still whirling through my head. As soon as I close my eyes, I see them brightly colored bullets blossoming over my retina. So this ends the part 2 probably. Oh no! It's still going! So it has come to this. 8:48 a.m. Weighed down by the burden of my tactical backpack, I approach the building. A thick morning fog envelops the streets around me, soaking up the early rage of the orange sunlight that transformed the world into a lucid theater. In the yard, I see students going about their daily activities on their way to class, talking on their phones, smoking, chatting among themselves, and it's with grave resignation that I behold the quiet scene, knowing that it will be the last time I experience anything resembling peace. I remain there for a moment, standing with my back to the great chestnut tree before putting down my bag and quietly proceeding to strap a holstered weathered P22 to my belt. Then I take out my primary weapon, a DEC-9 semi-automatic pistol. No one pays attention as I calmly take off the safety check its magazine, adjust the shoulder stock, while at the same time setting my sights on a group of sophomore girls who are smoking and chatting. My mind's racing, I'm analyzing, hesitating, competing the immense decision I face. The fog has grown even thicker now, shrouding the battlefield like a heavy mist, hiding the unfathomable chasm that stretches out before me, that cosmic abyss, that transcendental border that I have crossed so many times in my dreams, but which always held a tempering power over me during the daytime. I concentrate on my weapon. This is the moment of transgression. 8:56 a.m. A bolt of thunder. A girl falls. Blonde hair, curls, don't know her name. Her friends go looking on in disbelief as her lifeless body sails to the ground. A few heads turned into our direction, but it's motivating to see how few have realized the gravity of the situation. A group of boys take notice, but they're just staring at me, bemused at the stunt that's about to be played. But the looks of virtuous enthusiasm on their face quickly turn into terror as I pull the trigger again, instantly dropping two of them to the ground. So he's dreaming in school, daydreaming, probably. Laughing voices, a euphoria is growing inside me. A silent conviction that everything's proceeding according to plan. I was first scared. I was scared at first, then I stepped back, turned into jelly after a few shots. But I'm okay, I'm above that now. For now, I know I will no longer run. At 8:58 a.m., I push forward, hitting two more kids on the way to the main entrance, where I see Jennifer Carlson leaning against the door. Girls like her wouldn't give me time of day, but I seem to have got her attention right now. Thus betrays the expression of surprised confusion in her eyes during the seconds before. During the second before I hit her point blank in the face, and I watch her ass and nose and upper teeth fold neatly inward into her milky white cheeks, where they explode into a geyser of dark red that spurts up against the complex concrete exterior. What is he even imagining? God, that's horrible. That's horrible, dude. News of the carnage outside has only partially penetrated the building's walls, sending in the corridors in the state of confusion. Students are rushing in and out of classrooms. Oh, I think it's been 2 hours, more than 2 hours, probably. Yeah, I think. Oh no, it's been just 1 hour and 80 minutes. I think this will be it for today. I mean, yeah. I think this will be the end of today's stream. News of the carnage outside has only partially penetrated the building's walls, sending the corridors in a state of confusion. Students are rushing in and out of the classroom, part excited, part terrified, and it's not until I've mowed down another four of them that they start to grow aware of the threat. 8:59 a.m. The halls are deserted now. I breathe in the gunpowder air as I pause briefly to load a new magazine before proceeding along the main corridor, shooting left and right through the barricaded doors in the open classroom. I can hear frightened voices are coming outside, coming from EVQs who are poured onto the yard. I'm in exceptional mood as I kick open the door to the maths classroom, hoping and shooting boisterously at a row of desks beneath which an indeterminable number of kids appear to be sheltering. Soon their muffled cries die down and I carefully make my way around the room, grinning at the students who are now in plain view, taking mental notes of their hiding places. Which of you fuckers want to die first? I call out in an attempt to create some tension, and the strength and tenacity of my voice surprises even myself. I'm not the quiet kid I used to be. I'm fucking armed now. I feel more confident, stronger, godlike. I noticed standing Trincio crouching under one of the tables. I remember the times when Danny would come up to bully me, pouting his lips outwards to mimic my facial expressions with a smug look on his face. He's tiny now, clutching his knees, breathing heavily, and this time I fought back as Danny, who flinches when he notices before filling him up with "This is justice, you get it? True justice, all the shit you've given me right back at you with your hollow points." Okay, guys, this is it. I'm going to end the stream now. Bye bye.